Okay, so get this. We're going to do a deep dive into something pretty interesting.
Yeah.
A connection I bet you haven't thought about much before.
Right.
We're talking about alcohol,
Okay.
the liver,
Uh,
and the brain.
Interesting.
Specifically, the risk of hypoglycemia.
Ooh, blood sugar.
You got it, low blood sugar from alcohol.
That's pretty wild. Most
Yeah.
people don't really think about that connection.
I know I don't.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Exactly. We're going deep on this based on a YouTube video from Metabolism Made Easy
Right.
called Alcohol Sec, the Brain Shake, and Hypoglycemia.
Kitschy title.
I thought so.
Yeah.
It definitely caught my attention.
Yeah.
Okay, so we all know the liver's job is to kind of detoxify all that alcohol we drink.
Right.
But I'll admit, I've never really thought about what that actually means.
Well, it's more than just filtering.
Right.
The liver actually has to go through a whole chemical conversion process,
Oh, wow.
turning that alcohol first into something called acetaldehyde, and then that gets converted into acetic acid.
Oh, so that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So it's like a multi-step process.
Exactly, a whole chemical conversion process.
Gotcha. Is that where the problem comes in?
So each one of those conversions produces a molecule called NADH.
NADH.
And NADH is actually essential for energy production in the body.
Oh, okay.
But the problem is when we have too much NADH from too much alcohol,
Uh-huh.
it throws a wrench into this really important process called gluconeogenesis.
Gluconeogenesis. I feel like I've heard that before. Isn't that how our bodies make glucose when we're like low on fuel?
You got it. It's our backup system
Okay.
for making sure the brain and other organs get the energy they need,
Right.
which is glucose.
Glucose, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so all that extra NADH from the alcohol processing,
Uh-huh.
it's like it puts up a roadblock. It
Mhm.
prevents essential ingredients from actually getting to that gluconeogenesis pathway.
Hold on. So even if I'm not drinking on an empty stomach,
Right.
alcohol can still lower my blood sugar because it's messing with my body's ability to make its own glucose.
Exactly. That's precisely what's happening.
Wow. That's kind of crazy. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, it's a very underappreciated aspect of alcohol metabolism.
Okay, so what happens to our brain when it doesn't get the glucose it needs?
Wow.
I've always heard of like hitting the wall during a marathon.
Mhm.
Is it kind of like that?
That's a great analogy. It's like suddenly your brain's on this emergency power mode.
Oh, no.
So you can experience things like dizziness,
Yeah.
confusion,
Oh, geez.
and even difficulty like making decisions.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah.
definitely didn't realize the impact could be so significant.
Right.
This is making me rethink that one last drink before bed.
It's certainly worth considering. The
Mm.
brain is really sensitive to these shifts in blood sugar.
Okay.
And even small dips can actually affect things like focus,
Mm-hmm.
memory,
Oh, God.
overall cognitive function.
So it really does have a huge
It
impact.
can...
Okay, so let's connect the dots one last time, just so I'm sure I've got this straight.
Sure.
We drink alcohol.
Right.
Liver kicks into overdrive to detoxify it.
Yep.
Produces this excess NADH as a byproduct.
Uh-huh.
But this NADH throws off our body's own glucose production,
Right.
which then impacts our brain function.
Exactly.
That's pretty wild.
It is a fascinating chain reaction that I think many people aren't aware of.
It's so interesting. It makes you wonder,
Yeah.
knowing this connection, how could our understanding of alcohol's effects influence things like
Right.
dietary recommendations, especially for people who are prone to hypoglycemia or who have specific health conditions?
Absolutely. Food for thought, for sure.
Definitely. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
Of course. It was great to be here.
I'll see you next time.
Yay.